Hello, this is Nathan Basil, aka Leslie Vernon, and you are watching Death Curse Society.
Hey,
something's weird.
Something's wrong here. There's like more elbow room. What's going on?
Right? And it smells better too, you know?
It doesn't smell like hippies and you know what I'm saying? Like what is that stuff? They burn that incense stuff.
Incense, yeah, but incense usually smells kind of like butt.
His does.
Yeah.
His does. What's up, folks? Monday Maniacs, Death Curse Society in the house with you. Me and the Colonel Crank on the road en route to Pasadena, California. I think he's somewhere in New Mexico as we speak right now. He may pop in and check in with us, help with this cool interview we have tonight, but maybe not. It's okay, though. We're going to see him in Pasadena. We got that whole thing coming up this weekend. We'll get into that later. Colonel, what's going on, baby?
Not much. It's just another exciting edition of Monday Maniacs, but I don't know about you. I'm kind of ready to get it going, man. I've been looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You look like you're ready for some football.
I'm just cosplaying, man. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. The Bengals on Monday Night Football, so if Colonel drifts off while we're speaking tonight, just let him go. Let him be.
Do my best.
It's going to be fine. We're going to go ahead. We'll get FaZe in here real quick, man. What's up, FaZe? How's it going?
Woo! What's up? And goodbye.
And goodbye. We got another good one. FaZe, as always, going to be monitoring the chat, so get your questions up there because we have another set of live guests here. We have an event coming up at the end of October, the perfect thing for Halloween to wrap up your Halloween season. The Chiller Theater Expo happening. Huge convention, 30 years history with this thing, and we've got all kinds of guests going to be there. I mean, it's just kind of a pop culture and a horror convention. This is great. They have a ton of guests.
It's the best of two worlds, man.
It is when they get them right like this, and they got a lot of the right ones, like anything from A Christmas Story. That's going to be fucking huge, man. That's great. But you also get to see some classic horror icons, and we've got a few of them tonight. So how about we bring them right in and get it going? Colonel, what do you say?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. He has got a long resume, but I mean, in our horror world, he's most well known for being in Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. His name is Michael Swan. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, Michael.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Excellent.
Pretty good.
Great to have you. We're going to get into this whole thing here. Also joining us tonight, also from Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Sometimes they come back, and a slew of TV and movie credits. It's Nancy McLoughlin. How you doing?
Hello, Nancy.
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I love your opening.
Oh, thank you.
I love Manic Monday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, those are great guys, too, that did that song, that cover. It's a cover.
Oh. I didn't know.
Anyway, all right. Kristen Cloke is our third guest here. She has been in some of the best. Final Destination, something that reinvented horror once again. Kristen, welcome to Death Curse Society.
Hi, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm having technical difficulties.
We can hear you. You're a little jumpy in the video, but if we can hear you, that's fine. As long as you can hear us.
Yep.
Cool.
Awesome.
You're
Thanks
good.
for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh,
Thanks for coming.
So yeah, you guys are all booked at the Chiller Theater Convention coming up at the end of October. I mean, I'll just get right into it. What's it like going into when you go to these things? You know, like the first time you walk in, these movies are years, decades old in some cases, and what are you thinking, expecting the first time you're walking into a con like this to sit down and sign for the fans? What is your expectation? I'll start with you, Michael.
Well, you never know what's going to happen. It depends on the location. This will be the first one I've done on the East Coast. So I'm not sure what to expect. I'm told that it will be very good. Looking forward to meeting lots of the old fans from, oh my God, 36, 37 years.
Unbelievable.
Well, also, so it's a pop convention also, and I had so many years on soaps. There'll be some soap fans there too, I'm sure.
Oh, we're going to get into that in a little bit for sure. Don't worry.
Okay.
Let's see. Colonel, go ahead.
All right. Well, speaking of soaps, Michael, my mother would kill me if I didn't ask this. So I'm going to start out. So you had 2 long runs on 2 separate soap operas. As the World Turns and the Bold and the Beautiful.
Right.
Which character did you enjoy playing more? Duncan.
Oh, I the favorite role of my career was the Scotsman that I played on as, because I got to do the brogue and did that for 10 years. Well, actually, 10 years plus. Then the role was reprised in the early 2000s. And yeah, that's probably been my favorite role of my career.
Nice.
I like it. I assume that would be it, because I know Zach has a follow-up question on that.
I do. These kind of stories and working in TV is so much different than working in movies. You got to have a good story, one of those unforgettable, be it funny, just something cool, really cool that happened. But give us something from those days backstage, or just something that happened that was hilarious, because the crowd loves this. That's what they love.
Well, I'll tell you a story that I've told many times. Right before I started on As the World Turns, I was doing Friday the 13th, Part 6, directed by Tommy McLoughlin. And Tony Goldwyn was on the show with me, and we became friends. And at one point, we were sitting down over a drink one night, and he said, you'd be great on the soap operas. And I said, I hate soap operas. I would never do a soap opera. Never in a million years, I would never do a soap opera. Sure enough, we finished up, we wrapped, and I got a call from my agent that they wanted me in New York to test for As the World Turns. And the rest, as they say, is history. So good old Tony called it.
You can see it. Saw it in there. Coming to the Friday the 13th world, and all of you can, or at least Nancy, you can answer this too. It was well established, this whole universe by then. What was your experience like being brought into this world, into this, and trying to, make yet another successful film within it?
Was that for me?
Yeah, we'll start with you, Nancy. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know who you're asking about.
That's it. Actually was not, I wasn't thinking of making another successful film. I was just having fun. It was, oddly, and now I can appreciate and respect and adore and everything. I was afraid of scary films, quite honestly. And so that part was specifically for me. Who runs out with their underpants on and says, who's out there? Who's out there? So yeah, I wasn't really, I was more the scary person. So I had no thoughts like that. But back to soap operas, a very funny little segue is all I ever wanted to do my whole life was act. And so I went off to college, and I really didn't, I had my major, I had this and I had my that, but I really wanted to act. And my family, my father was a comedy writer and stuff. So he wouldn't allow us to do anything until we finished our degree. And so it was halfway through my college, 2 years into college, I come down to visit my family and friends, and there's an audition for Days of Our Lives. I go in, and it's for a college student. So I could go back to college, or I could be a college student on Days of Our Lives. I chose to be a college student. Not the wisest choice. My children did not know that until after they were 18, but it's true.
Wow.
That cracks me up.
The high road, so to speak. Yeah.
Outrageous. I mean, I have degrees now and everything's fine, but it's all I ever wanted to do. So,
wow. Kristen, you were in the first remake of Black Christmas. At that point, what did you know about the original? Were you making any mental comparisons to the characters from the original? I mean, going into it, because I'll say, like, I adore the original Black Christmas, and that remake, I think it's very solid. But then they remade it again, and I don't know what happened. But tell us about your experience in the Black Christmas world.
Glenn, my husband, I'm married to Glenn Morgan, who wrote and directed the movie. So we talk about this a lot. I mean, it's a well-known story that the remake that we did was really kind of affected by a lot of what was going on at the time, which was kind of this torture porn stuff that was happening. Saw and all those movies were popular. And Glenn worked closely with Bob Clark and had a nice friendship with him. In fact, Glenn tells this great story of meeting him and Bob Clark giving him his original Black Christmas script, and there were markings in it and stuff. And Glenn was like, no, I can't have this. I can't take it. So Glenn was a really big fan of Bob Clark, and he was a very nice man, and really liked him so much and really tried to do him proud. But the Weinsteins got him and got to it and wanted to make it, a little bit closer to what was popular at the time. And originally my character lives, and that all that was shot, it exists somewhere. And it was much less gory and they tried to move it into a different direction. And I think that's never, I've been in a couple movies in my life where the direction changes while you're making the movie, and I don't know that it always turns out that well. But looking back, and I think that people are having a new appreciation for the version that we did together, and there's a lot of good stuff there. I'm still, I love all those girls, and I had a great experience, and it was the first time that Glenn and I got to work together where he directed me as an actor. We worked together as he was a writer and producer of things that we worked on. So, I hold it near and dear to my heart.
Great. Colonel, you got one for Kristen?
Yes. I want to go back to the beginning of your career on this question, if you don't mind. What was it like working with Billy Zane in Megaville?
Oh,
Well, it's very similar to Nancy, but opposite. I got an agent after my third year of college, and she was not even really my agent. She was what they called at that time hip pocketing, where they'd send you out and see if you get anything. And so I was probably 20 years old. I had just finished my third year of college, and the first thing I auditioned for, it wasn't the first thing. It wasn't the last audition I had, but it was literally the first thing that she sent me out on was Megaville with Billy Zane. And I got it and started working, and I did not go back to college, but Nancy, you made the right decision and got your degree.
Eventually, not right away.
But you did the right thing. You did the right thing. It was a good decision to go back. And, but yeah, it was, I really didn't know what I was doing. I mean, it was my first, I had never been, I had not done an episode of a TV show. I mean, I had always I'd grown up in Los Angeles. I'd always, acted here and there, and I had taken acting classes, and I had done I was an English major in college, but had, managed to snag leads in some of the major plays at school. So it was kind of a big deal. And, the theater majors were not happy with me, but all those paths led to that direction. So when I got there, it was a really incredible learning experience. It was like 20 days. And there's a lot of really interesting stories about that movie. It could take a whole podcast in and of itself, what I remember of it. But it was a long time ago. But it was a good experience. It was a good first experience.
I'd like to hear some of those stories maybe in the future. It's interesting. I'm a sucker for behind the scenes stories and everything.
Yeah.
And I eat that stuff up. So.
It was a real low budget adventure. It was like one of those really, they don't even, they probably do, but I don't know. There was a time when they made a lot of movies, low budget movies, and you could go off and work with, incredible actors that, were older or had been around for a while and just needed to still pay their bills doing acting. So you would get in these movies, I worked with Roy Scheider and, so many amazing actors who, at that time you could do these low budget films and work with incredible people. So there's always those great stories of starting out at that time.
Oh yeah. So many.
Kristen, I wanted to ask you the same question I asked Michael about your experience at conventions, just because everybody's answers are so wildly different, where they're like, I can't, you want my autograph? They're like, they can't believe it. So what was your first time signing like this for fans?
Are you asking me? I've never done it.
You've never done it? Oh, okay, cool.
No,
cool.
This is going to be my first time. A couple of weeks ago, Glenn and I went to an X-Files reunion, the 30th anniversary reunion, and that was our first time. When we were doing Space Above and Beyond, and when I had done movies, and Space Above and Beyond was a big sci-fi show, and so that has its own world, a sci-fi world. And so early on, it was way different than it is now. It was just, they didn't have these cons that really happen every couple weeks. And so, and you just didn't, it was a different world. You just kind of didn't do that as much. You would maybe, one time I went to one in England because my sister lives in England, and I got to take my mom, and my nephew was very little. And so I did one in England once, a really long time ago, but I haven't done one of these modern iterations of this. This is my first time. So I'm a little concerned, not concerned, but just, you worry, like, is anyone going to ask for my autograph? Am I going to but I really like people. So it will be a great adventure for me because I'm happy to meet new people and talk to people. But I have no idea what to expect, to be really honest. I have no idea.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you get there.
I'm sure that I will, but I am a little.
We always say it's
nervous.
the horror fans and it's funny, the punk rock and the heavy metal music crowds are the nicest and most approachable people in the world. It's amazing.
Totally.
I have to second that. I've not done. I did one many years ago, and I was so surprised. I had so much fun. The fans are amazing, kind, and thoughtful, and I can't imagine anybody will remember me. Actually, it doesn't make a difference. You just never think people will think of you.
Right.
A couple of weeks ago, there was about a month ago, there was a Friday the 13th something in at the Los Feliz Theater. And I just was invited with some other cast, and I went, well, this will be fun to see the other cast. This will be fun to this. It'll be fun to that. I walk across the street, and all these people are coming up to me for my autograph. I'm like, they don't know who I am. I mean, they can't know who I am. And they were saying things I didn't know about me. And I was really impressed, and they were so sweet and kind. And that's why I'm going, because I like sweet, kind people.
And you'll get it in spades here. It's great. Many say Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, is the best of them all, of the whole shebang, the whole series.
Many do, yes.
I agree. What do you think?
Why do you think? I will tell you what I think in just a minute, but I want to hear why do you think this particular chapter resonates with such a large majority of the fans?
I think because Tommy reimagined it, and he brought in all the old school things that really work with horror films. And I just think his references are brilliant. I think the humor is excellent. And I honestly think he thought of, it's just the little things. A million things I can tell you. He's very creative in the way he kills people.
Yes.
Yes, I had my head crushed.
Oh, yes.
Exactly. And what about David Kagan? His back broken. The paintballers going through the thing. He's very imaginative when he wants to murder you or have someone kill them. And so, yes, I think that's it. I think it was more playful.
Okay.
And that's what I think. I think it was playful, creative, and it brought back a lot. And, you know, that used to be Jason Lives. Guess what? Lisbeth lives too.
Ooh.
She didn't die.
She didn't die.
She didn't die. It looked like it, but I didn't. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that too. The shirt there. I'm gonna bring that up again. I got you. I got you.
I think it's hysterical.
Yes.
I just like the way it sounds. Lisbeth lives.
He wrote some great lines too. Early in my career, I did a pilot of a TV show we did. To say, take your tambourine and beat it, sweetheart. And then later, much later, almost 12 years later, doing this picture, and the fans of this movie love this line, and I don't know why, but I got to say, I've got the whole enchilada. So, you know, what are you known for? Lines like that? Okay, I'll take it.
I think with part 6, and it's not my favorite, but it is my second favorite, and I'll tell you why. Because I like the gore, I like the slash, and the MPAA took that film apart. Like anything graphic was pretty much stripped out of it, and it's still a great film. I mean, and the story, everybody was clamoring for the continuation of Tommy coming back and continuing that fight, you know, with Jason and the real Jason, not the imposter Jason. So I think even though we love part 5, we love it, but everybody wanted that true sequel. What happened to Tommy? How is this going to end? That's why I think part 6 gets so much love that it does. Colonel, what do you think on that?
I think you have it about right. Like I said, part 6 is definitely my top 3, and that's not a bad thing. Because like I said, I do like that they brought in the gothic element, you know, bringing Jason back to life. It was similar, but it was different enough to make it entertaining and feel fresh. And again, the script was hilarious, like the jokes.
Oh, and the whole Frankenstein resurrection. That was brilliant.
Well, the Colonel will like this. Do you know where the end of Tommy's demise was shot?
I believe it was in a swimming pool, wasn't it?
We had him on. Yeah, we had him on a
parents.
couple months ago. And
His parents' swimming pool,
That's
to be
funny.
exact, because they had to reshoot it. That's how much money they had. His parents loved it, may I say.
Oh,
That's pretty cool, though. I think
that's a tidbit.
that's filmmaking at its finest. Like you watch the final cut of that film, you can never tell that was a swimming pool.
And I agree.
Like if Tommy never said it, no clue. No clue.
Oh, I've got a lot of. But I'll be quiet.
Well,
I mean, all good. All good.
we got see the things we love. Kristen, let's talk about Final Destination a little bit. These films took a huge turn away from the traditional ghost stories and slashers that were going around. What was that experience like? And were you aware that you were making something so astronomically different and cool like this?
Well, again, I made it with Glenn, who it was something that came to him from New Line, and I think the thing about that franchise that was really so great, and it was different than anything is that Glenn and Jim had come up with the idea that you didn't see death. Really not great for Halloween costume sales for the movie, but it was really smart. And the whole, Rube Goldberg thing that they came up with was really so clever. And I think one of the things that really makes that movie is, you have the scenes on the plane and the people and all of that. But then in second unit, Glenn and a small crew had gone in to shoot, the scratches on the plane and the malt balls and all the little things, all the little inserts and things that I think really build the tension of that movie. The cuts to the drips in the bathtub and all of those things end up really, I think the editing is really well done in that film.
You see that now here is one that I genuinely feel bad for most of the people getting killed in that franchise. I mean, they are so brutal and graphic, these death killing these people. And and they play on real fears, like driving behind a loaded semi full of, cars or logs or something, and the airplane crash. I mean, things people feel every day. So I don't know. Colonel, what do you got on it, man?
Oh, I hate to do this, but my time is up.
Oh, Mr.
So thank you for inviting me. And ladies, I will see you in Parsippany,
New Jersey.
Time. Bye-bye.
Chiller Theater Expo. And there he goes, Michael Swan, folks.
He's gone.
He's gone. We got more room now. We can stretch out a little bit. Well, we got a few out of there. I had a few more for him, but that's okay. Proceed.
All right. Well, I have kind of a follow-up question that Zach had, Kristen. If you were able to get in Glenn's ear and come up with a death for a Final Destination film, what would you think of?
I actually came up with a death and it was
really?
executed. Yeah, because when the third one came around, they did the first and the third. And, Glenn was like, I don't know. I have to think of more ways to kill teenagers. And, I started thinking about it, and I thought about how when I was in high school, I used to tan, and I said, go to a tanning bed. And he was like, what? And I said, no, it's creepy. It's like you crawl into this thing and you pull the tanning thing over you. It's like a coffin. It's really, and I'm a little claustrophobic. And I remember doing it as a teenager and feeling like really freaked out about it. I always had to do the minimal amount of time. But at that time, everybody wanted to be really tanned. So I would go and do it.
So good.
And Glenn didn't believe me. And I said, go to a tanning salon and do it, which is really funny if you know Glenn, because I saw at the beginning of your clip that you guys had some trick-or-treat stuff in there. And I don't know if you know that Glenn plays a character in that movie, but of the original Trick-or-Treat.
Okay,
He plays,
you got to tell us. You got to tell us.
He plays the friend, the nerdy friend. That's Glenn.
No shit.
Yeah, that's Glenn. And
Loud, fast, and thrashing.
I know, isn't
that
funny?
guy? Yeah.
But he's he's a dork. He's a total dork. So you've got, in the best way, I think. To me, he's gorgeous and perfect. But he goes, Glenn with his, glasses and his, notebook, and he goes and gets a tan. And he's like, yeah, you're right. That was so scary. And he writes it. So I did come up with a pretty good death.
Yeah, he came up with a really good death, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, that one.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
I feel pretty proud of it.
You should be, because if you can creep out a couple of gorehounds like us, me and the Colonel here, you did good.
Thanks.
Yes. Wow. All right. Go ahead, Colonel.
All right, Nancy, I have a question for you. As it's well known, leading up to your non-death scene, since
Thank you.
there was an accident on set where you almost got speared for real. Were you aware of that while they were filming? Like, what was your reaction? That had to have been terrifying, just sitting there and being like, oh, shit.
Well, actually, it happened a couple of times. And that time, yes. And I was aware of it as soon as it occurred. because I saw the real spear go through the back seat, and my head was this close. And it was supposed to be fake glass. But to be honest, why would fake glass make a difference? I don't know. It just cracks differently. It seems like it shouldn't have been a sharp thing. But yes, I was terrified. CJ was wonderful. And he ran in and was so protective over me. And I have to say the producer was fine with it. It looked good. It was scary. It was everything. So we didn't have to do it again. I would do these things because I wanted to keep the production down. You know, director's wife thing. You try to be appropriate and you want everybody to look good and you want to keep on budget and on time. You want people going home on time. So yeah, I was aware of it. I acted like it wasn't a huge deal, but I was terrified, to be honest. But more terrified of my head being viced into the mud. Tommy told you that. I'm sure you know that. But that the regulators weren't working and the mud is seeping down my throat.
Oh my goodness.
And holding my breath as long as I could, because again, you want to make the shot. You don't want to bother anybody, but finally you're going to die. And so you raise your hand and then they look at it and he goes, oh, shoot, there's mud. I can't believe that. Oh, we have a new regulator. That must have been defective. Who wants their head viced on mud?
No.
I don't know why they couldn't have used just a body thing with a head underneath. I don't know. But so the second time doing it, imagine I'm not really claustrophobic. I became a little claustrophobic that night because the head's there and the mud seeping down again. It was MOS. So all of a sudden I hear them scream lunch. Well, I'm underground thinking I'm going to die in this movie and nobody cares. My arm went up again. Well, I didn't realize it was lunch for the extras and the other people because it was MOS. So at that point, the producer was just annoyed with me and just said, keep your head down. And I did. They got the shot. But yeah, it was scary. And I'm thinking, I'm afraid of scary movies. And I'm going to die in one that Tommy wrote and directed? Really? This can't be happening to me. And I was quiet about it too. I kept all those scary thoughts in my head.
That's terrifying.
Real dirt from the set of Friday the 13th Part 6.
3 weeks to get out. Did he tell you that? I'm not sure. I'm sure I've mentioned it, but it was an ice cold kid shower I had to go into, a camp shower. You know, those 15 showers down a row. And it was 18 below zero with the wind chill factor. I think it was in the 30s or something. But the water doesn't turn on warm. It's ice cold water in this long, windy shower thing to take my quick shower to get the mud off out of my hair. And my hair was really long then. Ears, nose. I was so that could have been a murder. Yeah. Make someone take a shower in that I always think could have been a really good murder. And then, 3 weeks later, I'm still digging it out of my ears and nose. It was fun. We were young, just playing in the woods. I love that I got to go to Georgia and go to the real places. That it was really I loved every moment of it. And I love the people the most. I love the people of Covington, Georgia. Shout out to the people of Covington, Georgia. And everyone we met there was wonderful. So
movies, and you did TV, a lot of TV as well. I have a bunch of credits here, but one that sticks out, you played Dr. Bernardi, and Sometimes They Come Back, another one directed by your husband, ex-husband. Arguably one of the better made-for-TV Stephen King adaptions. And what was that like? And did you have any interactions being around Stephen King? We always wondered, is he that creepy in real life? I mean,
actually, I didn't on the set. I had just birthed my beloved daughter, who was like 3 weeks old. So we were there, but not there really. And it was a very, very small role. I met him at other functions, and I never thought creepy. I never thought any. I was just kind of, wow, you're really talented. So that movie, Tim Matheson's family and I became very close because he had children and his wife was there, and so we became very close, and that was incredible. So my experiences there were more offset, just that little lippet. There were other good ones, but not horror. Like One Dark Night, I think is not mentioned enough.
Don't get me started.
You like it?
That's my favorite independent, like old movie from those days, by far. By far.
That was my first close up in a movie, and it was on my birthday, which kind of was cool. And across the street, so I'm trying to be cool and be grown up and mature, and I'm an actress, right? And across the street, it was at the pier in Santa Monica, and across the way were a bunch of teenagers just doing anything they could to destroy my mood, and just screaming and yelling and that was the best acting I think I've ever done. Just staying in character. Those are the things we never hear about. You never think of that, people trying to destroy what you're trying to do. But I think that movie, my understanding is like Quentin Tarantino's favorite movie of that genre, period, that year. I don't know. I've heard. I heard that.
I was privileged enough to see it in theaters.
Were you?
Yes, I caught it. My theater used to run double features every Saturday. They'd pick two. They'd get one just released. So, I mean, I was seeing all the Italian stuff and everything that I wasn't supposed to be seeing at that age. But One Dark Night stood out as one. And that one I tracked down and bought like a clamshell, like $100 VHS of it, to get it back before it was available.
We've got the film right here in this house.
Oh,
watch it. It's funny. I think those things are funny. But going to the Paris Film Festival against Evil Dead, I mean, come on. That's just crazy pants good.
That's a
those
bad
experiences.
Two great ones though from that year. Fuck, man. That's Kristen. You also all over TV, and you've even done some writing. What do you prefer when it gets into the world of TV and film? Do you prefer working in film or the TV? And is it acting or writing? What gives you the better kick, the buzz? You know what I mean?
I kind of think they're almost the same thing in a weird way. I mean, you're still, the thing that makes me able to be an actor is the same thing that I access when I'm writing. It's just it's really just all, and I'm sure that Nancy will back it up. It's just all kind of a variation on empathy and storytelling, and so as I get older, I like. I mean, acting is always a great old friend of mine. I always say it. I just, it's like a young love that I'll never, I'll always have. And it's just harder as you get older, especially as a woman, to do it. I took time off to raise my kids, and just sort of around the time that I was starting to get offers for some bigger stuff. But my kids needed me, and I really felt like that was the right thing to do. And it was hard for me to do both. So I started doing, it's not that I didn't work. I did Black Christmas during that time, and I've done stuff here and there, but it's a little easier to do writing. And now my kids are in college, so I've gone back to writing much more. It's just easier, and I don't have to look a certain way when I'm working. I can play all the parts, and I don't have to look good. And so in that respect, writing for me at this age is a little easier, and I can just do it. And Glenn and I write together a lot. I just finished a feature on my own, but now we have another show that we're starting to develop. So we're always working on stuff. We have, pilots and movies that we're always working on. So it's something you can always do. You don't need, you don't have to audition. You can always do it. And It's really fun, and I love a collaboration, and it's just easier to write now because I'm older. Just harder to get parts.
Quiet in the house too. That helps.
Well, I have a kind of a follow-up question for that for Kristen. Is there a particular genre you favor writing more than the other, or is this just kind of like, I know when I used to write when I was younger, I mean, I didn't write screenplays or anything, just short stories. I was a little bit all over the place, kind of whatever I was feeling.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the process for you as well, or?
Yeah, it is. It totally is. I think it just depends on the subject that we're interested in. The thing that I just finished writing was actually, I tried a horror thing, which is not, I've been in a lot of horror. I mean, I watch it because you kind of, when you live with Glenn Morgan, you watch horror, but
That's good.
it's not my go-to, to be honest. I do get afraid, but I just finished writing a female-driven horror thing, and it was a really great challenge. It was really, I felt like I grew a lot working on that. So I think it's just that you just want to try everything out, and I think it's the story. What do you want to write about? What's interesting? What do you think people want to hear? I think all entertainment ultimately is a conversation.
Yes.
You're in a conversation, whether you're the actor or the writer, and you're trying, as an actor, I feel like I'm a tool of the piece, and I'm a piece of a chorus that's trying to convey an emotion or a feeling that is combined with all the other people. And as a writer, I feel like I have something I want to say, and it's in response to things that I'm hearing around. And I really love being in conversation as an artist and as a person. So I think that's, to me, just the thing that drives me in anything that I do. I love that back and forth. And I think that's one of the things that I'm excited about the Chiller Theater is, talking to people and meeting them and hearing and feeling what people are into and what makes them excited to see.
Oh, Kristen, I have your back so much. Everything you just said, I could echo. People don't know that I do, right? I have done some published things, but like one of the things, actually two, I'm writing, my dad was a writer, and he had a novel, and I'm turning it into a script.
Fantastic.
Which, how exciting is that?
So great.
To be able to.
I love it.
Personal thing, when you're going through things, we're always writing ourselves. We're always writing what we know. And I got to be on a jury once. So there's one angry woman, and I hung the jury. But it's like you write what you know, and that script is really rather amazing. And we'll see what's happening. But I think as we get older, we do probably get more reflective, right? Mm-hmm. And we need to express ourselves, and there's less roles. So prayerfully, there's, you can always write whether anybody else reads it.
But it's also, I think what's great is that your dad was a writer, and you're still having this collaboration
Amen.
with him all these years later. And,
yes.
And you're in conversation with your dad through this piece and,
yes.
And extending what he was trying to say. And, I think that's incredible. I think that's so fantastic.
It's so exciting. It's the way we it's the way we can communicate. And actually, you're going to have so much fun. I mean, one con, and I act like I know what I'm talking about. You're going to just love the fans. I just have a feeling, because that is what it is. It's conversation. I don't care what you do. I don't care about that. I want to know your story. I want to know who you are. That's what I like.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I get excited.
Oh, they're going to start hitting you with where they were when they saw your movies and what it did to them. All these stories are great. And Colonel and I are guilty of going out and fanning out on people too. So, I mean, it happens.
Little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think I'm going to fan out on YouTube.
Cool,
Thank you. I have to ask, as we sit here tonight, looks like the writer's strike, at least that portion, is going to be getting settled soon. Hopefully, yes. as writers. What's your feelings on the SAG strike, and is there anything you want to get out there, your opinion, what you're thinking, what you think should happen? I'll start with you, Kristen. Go ahead.
We picketed. We picketed 3 times a week, several hours a day, all during the strike. So we've been out on the line since May. And so I am a member of both the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild. So I picketed for both guilds. And I think that the WGA negotiating committee is extraordinary. And I think that, not knowing what the deal is now, I say that, but I have complete faith. And the Writers Guild, the solidarity has just been unbelievable, and SAG has been in lockstep with the Writers Guild since day one, and they showed up to the negotiations early on with the Writers Guild. So I think it's really smart that the writers got to go first, because I think it will create a pattern, a very strong pattern that SAG will then be able to go in. And even though some of the things are different, less different than they were for the directors, but I think SAG and WGA have a lot more issues in common, especially with AI. And so I think that and SAG has a bigger issue about increasing minimums for health and pension and things like that. So there's a lot of big things and this is really, Nancy and I are talking about how can we be in this business as people who have been around for a while. But all of these things are, if there's going to be a business and there's going to be a film where people like Nancy and I are trying to make connections or be in communication in a bigger way, how can we continue to do that for longer than until AI catches up with us and is able to do. I mean, I wrote that X-Files, so I understand, the threats there, and they're real. So
They're real.
I mean, I think people cannot be replaced personally, but I think that's a whole other conversation. That being said, sorry about the tangent.
No.
I think that
That's not.
I think that the writers did the negotiating committee did a great job, and I'm really proud of the solidarity, and I know that we'll all continue to come out and support SAG, and hopefully this gives us a couple more years of making good stuff.
Nancy, do you want to add anything? Or
Echo. Echo. May I echo you, Kristen? Oh, you are my spirit. Other self. I fully agree. I do think the more and more spectacular animated things that we can just clone a voice and put something to is a concern to me. Those things concern me. But honestly, you can't. There was a period of time that I had a vision issue for 3 months, and someone was writing emails for me. They thought, not provoked, not inspired, not my wanting. And they thought if they threw the word blessing in there a lot and amen, they sounded like me.
Wow.
Well, the fact is, you could read. I mean, if you knew me, you would know that's not my voice. But if you don't know me and you hear the word blessing, amen, faith-driven, obviously. But that said, it's interesting. I don't think AI can compete with people. Of course they can't. But can we numb ourselves into a place where we think we're listening to something real? And that concerns me. So we have to fight. We have to.
It was explained to me as you could do one performance for one studio and they would own your likeness and voice and could use it in any capacity they see fit in the AI world. That's
absurd. It's crazy.
Who would go for that? How?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I think, ultimately, you can't replace people. You know, I think I think people know the difference. It's just AI is not moving. And I think people go to see movies and even animation. There's just something about the human voice. I mean, you guys do a podcast, and you know, that's really the way that people come off, I'm sure, on these podcasts really says so much about them and just the human condition. And I think that's why people call in. They want to hear stories, human stories told by human people. And I just feel like that's not replaceable ultimately. You can, I mean, for certain things, art, I suppose, or reference, but
I feel like this in a case of, like, say, Bruce Willis, where he's got a debilitating disease taking over his life, and he sold off the rights to his voice and his likeness to be able to be used that way. I feel that's a little different. He agreed to it. He was paid for that, and he can exist still this way if people want to see him, if there's a desire. But it's a far cry from you coming and getting paid for one job, and now we own everything that you said, and we can make you say anything now and do anything now. That's way crossing the line here.
But I'm with Kristen and Nancy on this, the whole thing, more so like the writers aspect. Yet I've seen, you know, I've read AI written stories and everything. It's like it takes the humanity out of it. It's very obvious. That's right. You can't replace that.
I do think, though, it is going to get better. It is going to get smarter, and it is going to be harder to tell. Those lines are going to get blurred because, as you know, society's kind of dumbing down. If you hadn't noticed, you know, so I mean,
yeah, that's what concerns me. That is what concerns me. Is the fact is, right now, I think you, like, if someone knew me, you would tell those emails were not from me. But if you didn't know me and you thought, oh, whatever, that concerns me, and that anyone would want to do that is concerning. And AI alone, I am a uniquely flawed person. I am. My writing is not, I'm quirky is what I am. I'm very quirky, and AI wants to clean me up all the time. And I don't feel that's who I am. I am who I am. So
I also think that those are the things that people are ultimately interested in. I mean, all of these years, it's not enough to be an actor. People want to know what those actors are doing in their real lives because it's important to them to know. They want to know the stories of what human beings do. And I think that's one of the reasons why social media is you know, people love it because it's stories about people. And I think those are the stories that I'm interested in watching and being a part of. And I think most people are too. So I understand it's a lot. I understand why the AMPTP wants that. It's a lot cheaper, but cheaper is not always better. I mean, I think that's been proven throughout time. So I just think people mean something, and they mean something to each other.
It's about relationship. It's about communication. It's about connectedness. And I believe in connectedness.
If you're going through that, maybe I'm going through that too.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how I feel.
You see, folks?
I love you, Kristen.
Yeah.
You're best friend in my head.
Thank you. I love you too.
All right. Well, I mean, I've got a couple more things. We can go back into the boring movie stuff, and you know. But Nancy, you were actually on an episode of Freddy's Nightmares back in the day.
Love it.
Yeah. What was that general tone on that set? Did you think it was going to be cool and be like, wow, this is going to be like the movies? Or were you kind of like, oh, I don't know?
It was the coolest thing. It was one of my favorite things of doing, but it was for Tommy, it was a really challenging thing because apparently there was a lot of things going on beyond the scenes that I wasn't aware of. I just took care of I had my little babies. And so as I did, I chose very minimally what I could do to raise my kids and be at home. And so this I could do. And the character was so hysterical and fun. So I just focused on the fun, but my understanding is it was really challenging on the other end. But my part, playing this crazy nurse who was just pristine when she was awake, just perfect little nurse, and what can I do for you? And then just go nuts and throwing gumballs down her throat while she was sleeping in her nightmare, and then sewing her mouth, me and the doctor sewing her mouth closed. Hysterical. It was so much fun. I enjoyed that a lot. I did.
That's cool. I like that too.
But I didn't know there was all that badness until later because my babies were so young.
Yeah, I mean, well, you see, you got a good memory, and it might be a pain in the ass for everybody else, but still, it's all right.
It's true. It's true. I still can remember the good. It's good. It's good.
Kristen, I have one from a listener here. They're asking how fucking awesomely sweet were the rats in Willard? The real ones, not the stupid CGI ones.
Ooh la la.
That's a whole other. I mean, you guys ought to have Glenn on to tell the Willard stories. They're actually so incredible. And I was supposed to play the Laura Herring part, but then when they cast Crispin, I was just pregnant when it got a green light. So we thought there would be time, and then Crispin's schedule was such that he had to do it later. So I incubated my son on the set. I was there for most of the time, and then I had to go home because I couldn't fly anymore. But the rats were unbelievable. That whole thing with the rats was just really eye-opening. I mean, they trained them. Every rat that you see had its own specialty, and they hand raised them. There were hundreds of them, and they had their own little almost like little studio where all the rat training was happening. And each little stunt or movement that was actual rats, those rats were trained. So you had, X amount of Socrates and X amount of Bens, and each Ben had a different thing that they did, and each Socrates had a different thing that they did. And then there were just rats who were trained to just go down a ramp, or, so it was amazing. Those animal trainers are really unbelievable. That's a whole really great thing. I really love Willard. It has a really big soft spot in my heart, even though I was in it, and I think I don't know if I'm actually still in the movie or if that part got cut out, or in any case, it's funny I don't remember that part. But the rats were all of that movie was incredible. Lee Ermey and Crispin and
Crispin
and Laura Herring, they were all fantastic.
Some people are born for a role. Was Crispin
That's
not
right.
born for Willard?
He totally was.
Perfect.
He was unbelievable. I mean, there's some scenes in that movie, when his mom dies in that casket, and you can't. I mean, as a director, you cannot make that stuff up. I mean, he's phenomenal. And we got to go to his house a couple of times for parties, and that was really incredible too. He's quite something. Really brilliant man.
We've heard he's quite an eccentric dude.
That's
not wrong with that.
I have no idea if he likes to be called eccentric, but
right.
It's different. I mean, he has a very eclectic group of friends, and but a very accomplished filmmaker, a very, very sincere and committed artist.
Artist.
I don't know that much about him.
That's what I was going to say. Artist. That
he is.
Yeah.
He is one of the last of the greats.
I had a sister-in-law that had many rats that she fell in love with, and that she really trained and taught well. Gave me a full appreciation, and they would get. This is really a caring person, but they get pneumonia, and she had little pneumonia men, little tents for them, and would put them in. I don't know that I'd go that far, but I'm fascinated with people that can take care of anything that well. Mm-hmm. Anything that well, I'm impressed with.
They're really smart.
Yeah, they're very smart. I got tricked into having a rat. My daughter, of course, it had to be for a project and got a cold. The school couldn't take them. I fell in love with a little rat. But yeah, it's not like I like the idea.
Mhm.
I have to say, but they're brilliant.
Yeah, I would love to. Might have to do that. Get a Willard special here up the road with
Yeah.
you and your husband. I think that would be pretty amazing.
I
Yeah,
think
Glenn
so.
has a lot of good horror stories for sure.
And even some trick or treat stories, I bet.
Or
Oh,
happy
man.
stories.
I
Gosh.
know. That's
Wow.
funny, right?
Colonel, what do you got, man?
Well, speaking of TV, I've been dying to ask Kristen this all night. Not only am I a horror fan, I'm a bit of a sci-fi junkie as well. Space and Above and Beyond. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to kick my table. A great sci-fi show. Honestly, I wish it would have lasted longer. Do you have any particular stories behind the scenes that you'd like to tell?
I have so many. I guess we just had it was the 28th anniversary of our premiere yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah, I love that show. Shane is my all-time fave. Nancy was saying, she has a thing, for her character, They Live, but I always say Vanson lives because I always feel like she's alive somewhere on some planet, even though they spiraled out into space. I mean, I still love every single one of those people. It was for a woman, that's the role of a lifetime. And there were a lot of women who got to go on and take a lot of credit for being the first tough woman of sci-fi, but I believe that Glenn and Jim really created that with Shane Vanson, and I feel really, not many women get to play someone like that in their time, and I feel really, really lucky to have played one of the great kick-ass women of television. I think that she's just was fantastic, and that was a really hard show to do. That was, running through fire and landing in your mark and crying because your friends all died behind you. And we did, I think one day we worked a 23-hour day, 40 pounds of equipment on our back, firing guns and fighting. And it was really, I did a lot of stunts on that show. And, I got to work with some great actors, people who are still really great friends of mine. I can't say enough great things about that experience.
so I need to see it. So let's just drop that down in the comments so I can see that episode.
It's hard to find, actually. It's hard to even get the DVD. The British version is much better, and they have a great behind the scenes done by Julie Eng, who did the behind the scenes movie for Willard, which he called The Year of the Rat, which is as good, if not better, than the movie. Her behind the scenes filmmaking is great. She does a lot of behind the scenes now for a lot of big stuff, but the British version, the British DVD of Space Above and Beyond is better than the American one. Fox just I think they wanted the guys back on Millennium and X-Files, and it was an expensive show to do, and we just got we had a good run of 23 episodes.
Wow.
So
I once worked 22 hours giving birth. Does that count?
this was not that dissimilar.
No, it was for a
I
show.
had 2 really easy pregnancies, so
Yeah.
I definitely would say the work on that show was much harder than giving birth for me, for sure.
No, this was on a miniseries.
Oh,
22
wow.
hours. They had a fire next time, and they had to, so giving birth, but I don't know why we had to shoot 22 hours of me pushing. I don't know. I couldn't walk or move for a week because I was
Wow.
just too aware of how to do it well.
That's
But
crazy.
it was crazy. It was a crazy day. It was, and the blessing is I got to work with an Amish family for a week and hang out with them, and they really accepted me. And then I got to give birth for 22 hours. But it was hope for the future. And
Right.
so it was such an honor. This behind the scenes thing that I didn't know, this is the coolest thing I learned a couple of years ago. But we shot that in 2003, I want to say, 6 episodes. And it was every climate change, every horrendous, horrible thing. It was the fire next time. Instead of the flood, it was going to be the fire next time, the end of the world. Well, me having young children, I wasn't really into, let's hear about, I think it was even, no, it wasn't, it was the 1990 something, because my children were young. So I didn't really pay attention to it. They kept saying in the not too distant future. So I'm like, I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about the fire. So I just stayed with my role, my children, my this, my that. And then I got to stay with this family for a week, which was amazing. They were afraid of the rain because if it rained, that means lightning could go through the light. So they'd go to the basement every time it rained, this family. I loved them. I loved them. I learned how to quilt with them.
Wow.
Love this family. That's it. In 2017, the weather was crazy. It was identical. Everything that is shot in this movie from Fire Next Time is duplicated in 2017. And I was shocked that ABC or NBC or CBS, I'm not sure which one, didn't put this series out because it was brilliant in the reality of what would occur. And this was shot in not 97. Okay, I want to say, how old was Hannah? I'm going to say 93. So 93, not too distant a future. But if you watch that, you'll see how amazing. And I got to give birth to hope of the future. 22 hours singing.
Wow.
Couldn't walk for a week.
Wow. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. But fun, and those things matter. And my son's in there. You'll see him walking around with a pad, and he was 4 years old, and he was just walking around just because he was such a perfect little extra. He did everything you said. And he wanted to be a grip, an extra, and at that, now he's becoming a director.
Did you get him scale at the time?
I bet you we did. For an extra. No, yeah. I'm sure he was just on the set. But it was still cool. Because he had naps to take. Yeah. I couldn't leave him on the set. Naps.
Heck yeah, they'll work him right to death. Actually, they're pretty good on the lunches and everything on the sets that I remember.
I'm sure.
Uh-oh. Dogs.
Douglas, stop it. We didn't know we could be heard. We're kidding. Douglas.
That's all right. What do you have coming up? What do you have to promote? Anything outside of Chiller Expo Theater, of course. What do you got coming up that you might want to talk about? You know, writing something beyond writing that can go in front of cameras as soon as the strikes are over, or what do you got going? Regular life, anything? Give us something.
I think it's been, we're just, the news of the strike ending yesterday was, I think, one of the great, you just have no idea how stressful that whole, it's just been so stressful that, all the things that you were working on and anything that you had going on just kind of came to a halt. So, we still, we had our own private things that we worked on, but you can't sell anything or
right. And some of the things the other side was saying too was pretty nasty. That was getting.
Yeah,
it was. Like, we're going to starve them out of their homes. You can't say stuff like that.
No.
Horrible. Apparently, you can.
Right. I think that's in the end, kind of the nice part is that everybody was on the side and is still on the side of SAG, but on the side of the writers, it was just so obvious, and the rest of the country took a page out of the book, and a lot of other unions around the country are striking for exactly the same thing, and that's part of what AI is threatening for all of us, and so it's just so new that this strike has ended. I feel like it hasn't even almost hit me yet.
Right.
Not that Glenn and I spend all of our day in on the picket line. We're talking about story and, things we want to do and whatever. So we always are kind of living in that world. But this has been extraordinary. You just kind of didn't know. I mean,
Yeah.
if it had gone into the holidays, that would have just been it for, I
Devastating.
mean, just no possibility. I think that's probably one of the reasons why, it's exciting to come out and meet people. When we went to that X-Files thing a couple weeks ago, it was like you almost forget, what are we doing here and why are we doing this? And the nice thing about going there, and I assume it will be the same, is to remember wait, what are we doing here? What's happening?
Well, it'll
And
be
so
great.
we're just kind of coming out of this big fog that's been the strike. So I am definitely here to promote Chiller and meeting all my new friends.
And the good thing is, if the strike does get settled by the time you get there at the end of next month, you can actually take part in a Q&A panel and get the questions directly from the fans on stage. I mean, they're going to come to your booth and hit you with those anyway, but I mean, those
Sure.
Q&As, that's where it's at. That is the most fun.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we've been going around the country and almost all the panels have been canceled, or it's questions like, what'd you have for dinner last night? What's your favorite car?
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, so
Oh, that's interesting.
you can't talk about anything you did or are going to do. Nothing.
Wow.
There's no
I didn't
point.
know that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
I think you can talk about,
Yeah.
when I went to the X-Files thing, I was on the writers panel and not the actors panel, even though I've acted in one and written one. So I didn't have to, I mean, I answered questions about acting, but we were all there. And we wrote to the guilds specifically and asked if we could
Sure.
go. I wrote to both guilds and asked for permission. And they basically said, as long as you don't promote any struck work.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were at Motor City Nightmares a month ago, and it was going fine. They were avoiding anything like that. And then someone in the crowd just finally said, it was a Friday the 13th panel, and somebody asked who, a part 2 questions. One of the actors from part 2 is Amy Steele. What happened to Paul? What happened to Paul? And she's kind of like, and then she said, you know what? Like, F it. And she spit it out. And then the rest of the panel kind of went almost normally. I mean, it was only
Right.
10 minutes left at that point. But I mean, that was the only one that kind of broke that model that's been going on since this started.
Yeah.
I hope you can do a proper one when you get to New Jersey.
Mhm.
Oh, I hope so.
That's the best.
Yeah. Well,
My home state.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But all of this stuff is so old now. We're really lucky that there are people who, people like you who still have an interest in it and keep, all of our stuff and dreams and
Thank you.
work alive.
Oh, see.
Yeah, thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I mean, these are the things that modeled our youths. I mean, I'm a little bit older than Colonel, but I mean, I was there. I saw all these in the theater, and just they made me who I am. I've had 30 years of useless knowledge in my head about these films until I started doing this show, and now
Brilliant.
I love it because we can connect with folks that are in the industry and have done the things we love, and it's just great. We love it, and but without you, there's no us. So it's like that. I guess that goes both ways, right?
Yes.
It definitely does. But that goes, that seems to be the theme of our conversation anyway. It's just we're all here because we want to be, connected in our own way. We want to tell the story and you want to watch the story and then we want to talk about it and revisit it after all these years. It's amazing.
So true.
Nancy, did you have anything you wanted to promote before we, obviously besides Chiller, we know you're going to be.
Chiller is great.
Chiller's coming, folks.
Well, one of us has been a little bored, and I'm writing. I am doing writing, and actually, I had a dear friend of mine from Turkey who's also writing with me. Not friend, partner, friend. Which was fun. He came from Turkey for a few weeks. We got to write. That was very exciting. But being very solo right now in all this. It's been challenging. So I come up with Lisbeth Lives, and someone says, that's so funny. Make a t-shirt. So I made a t-shirt. What cracks me up, you guys see the back. This is not what the t-shirt's going to look like, but I'm going to have a t-shirt. I'm not a girl to sell t-shirts. This is not me, but I'm going to. The back is me dying.
Wow, look at that. See
I
that?
don't know if you can tell.
No, we can tell. I mean,
You
here.
can tell. Okay,
Yeah, we got
so
it. Yep.
I've been doing silly things the last couple of weeks because I've been so bored. Lisbeth Lives. Isn't that a great sequel?
I want an
Jeez.
address right now. I want to buy one of those right now. Done. Oh my gosh, look at this. Hang on. Let me give you the proper layout there. Look at that.
Wow. Look at that.
Actually, this was made with a girlfriend of mine, Melissa Bentley. We created these 10 years ago because I couldn't go to a convention without giving something, but they've become popular. And so they're old. And so I'm just going to sign them, and there will be like a silent auction or something. And dumb little jackets from years ago, just stuff like that. I just thought would be fun to have because I like stuff like that. So I like making stuff like that. But I am doing a film.
Awesome.
I know we can't say what or what.
I can't say what.
How about genre? Can we get that at least?
What is the genre? It's a dramedy.
Dramedy. Love it.
I don't think so. I wish it was. Wish it was scary now.
Don't worry. I you know what I think? Once this does all finally come to an end and everyone's back to work, I think we're going to have an avalanche of stuff coming at you guys. You're going to be adding to that pile, so no worries.
Don't worry. I'll be as scared as ever of everything.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Which I love.
Nancy McLoughlin and Kristen Cloke. That was easy for me to
Tongue
say.
twister.
My new best friend and yours.
Thank you.
Chiller Theater Expo happening in New Jersey, the 27th, 29th through the 31st. I'm screwing this all up.
26th to the
27th through the 29th.
29th.
27th through the 29th.
Go to the
right?
26th. Yeah.
Get it together, Zach. Come on.
Good Lord, I wrote down the wrong thing. I don't even know why. But there it is, Chiller Expo Theater. I mean, the whole show, they got 30 years of history there. You're going to see all kinds. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Some great horror guests here. And then you've got a lot of pop culture stuff there. It's going to be a blast. Get out there and say hi to them. Tell them Death Curse Society sent you.
We love Death Curse Society. .com. Hashtag Death Curse Society.
Phase, rack that. Okay. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck in everything in the future. Thank you for being and doing what you've done for us. And we look forward to seeing and following and promoting anything you might come up with. And we'll talk about that Willard thing in the future.
Yeah. That's
Gotta.
Glenn has great stories. He really does. You can leave me out of it. I'll make sandwiches in the other room. He does. You can't. It's tough to be married to Glenn Morgan because you can't top it. In the horror world, he.
I'm fascinated by this concept here.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, make sure you call me so I can hear the conversation as well.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Nancy,
We'll let Stacy know. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I'm really ashamed of myself. As much as I love Trick or Treat, Glenn was in it, and I'm a huge fan of
He
Glenn
played the
and
friend.
X-Files
Is
and
his
like,
name-
everything. I'm like, seriously, I'm just not learning this.
I know, dude. I feel
He
like a
was
rookie
only in
too.
one movie, and that was it.
That's it.
He plays the friend. I can't remember what the friend's name is.
That's so good.
Oh, I love it too because he's sitting there, he's playing him the stuff backwards, and he's
That's
just
right.
he's reading the jacket, and he goes, "Well, yeah, it's loud, fast, and thrashing." He didn't even
Right.
listen,
That's Glenn.
He's great.
I know. He was only in one thing, and he. We're friends with Tim Armstrong from Rancid. You know Rancid.
Oh yeah,
And Tim is now doing these horror things, and we go to his studio, and he plays old horror stuff for the month of October, I think.
So
And we
fun.
saw one a couple weeks ago, and everyone's on the group chat saying we should watch Trick or Treat. So I hope they do it. Glenn's like putting the kibosh on it.
so fun.
Gotta see it. Gotta see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He's real
a Halloween
cute and
staple.
So I'll know Glenn because he's in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
One day I'll meet him at
Yeah,
Chiller.
you will. You will.
Chiller, is he coming to Chiller?
No, he's not. But hopefully, I had a great time. We did the X-Files thing. It was Glenn, his brother Darren, Jim Wong, Glenn's old writing partner. So it was like, Chris Carter was there. So it was like, a great, and Annabeth Gish was there.
Oh.
And
Oh,
she
wow.
is going to be at Chiller. So I made a beeline for her. I was like, Annabeth, we have to be friends because I don't know anybody who's going to go. Well, now I know Nancy. So
Yes.
I have another friend. Yeah.
Yes, because I don't know anybody that's going, so we got to hang out.
You're going to have a blast.
Yeah, but she's great too. I really
We'll love her.
Lovely. Yeah, you'll love her.
We got to get jackets made.
Yeah, there we go.
Just like One Dark Night.
Chiller.
What do they call them? The
Sisters, I have
Sisters,
one.
Yes.
I have one.
God, that's awesome.
4 made. I have one.
Wow.
Cracks me up. I'll bring it just to show you.
Yeah, Stacy, if you're watching, I want a picture of that, please. Yes. Okay, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. And anytime you're welcome back here. You are DCS for life. Thank you.
Thank you. We love
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll see you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, they
Cutter,
should
sorry.
enjoy their dinner.
Good night. There they go. Wow.
It was a lot of fun.
That was fun, man. I mean, I get it. They're not top tier players in some of these movies, but I mean, they had the stories too. I mean, the people that are on these sets, anybody is worthy to talk to on these airwaves, I think, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, and like I said, they both played huge roles.
Right.
No,
and intricate to the thing. And plus, dude, like some of the stuff we got there. I mean, the One Dark Night stuff, the fucking Trick or Treat stuff. Damn, that's awesome, man. I want that Willard show now.
Mm-hmm.
I want that show now. We got to get that guy on, especially now that we know he's in Trick or Treat. Fuck. Half that show would be Trick or Treat.
Well, then maybe for you. I mean, I love Trick or Treat, but I'll be talking X-Files and all kinds of other nerdy shit.
This guy's got a huge resume, dude. He's a player.
Mm-hmm.
Big player. That was cool, though, man. Wow. Are we allowed to talk about next week?
I don't know. Nothing's been confirmed that I'm aware of, so
I'm going to leave it alone then.
yeah, let's leave it alone.
I will say this. It's scheduled for another live guest, and I know we did talk about this a couple weeks ago. I just don't know if it's confirmed yet, and which, if any, there was supposed to be someone else added to it. So I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in an airplane next Monday.
A little more comfortable for a second. Ooh, straight up on the
What's the score, Colonel? I've been dying. What's the fucking score?
6-3. Looked like Money Mac missed the field goal. Should be tied. I haven't really been paying attention. I've been glancing up like once every 10 minutes.
Couple of minutes, you'll be able to jump right in, catch the second half.
Well, it's almost halftime. I was hoping Big K would fill me in sometimes, but yeah, that's where we're at now. Like I said, I wasn't paying much attention. I'm a fucking professional, okay?
You did great, man. I thought, I know
I
wasn't
did great.
sure. We were scrambling for questions there at the end. Once Crank said, "Hey, I ain't coming tonight. I'm probably going to be in between." So I think that turned out okay, though.
I think it turned out fucking great, man. I had some good ones, especially for Michael, man. There's that one about the illegitimate theater. Those improv days I wanted to ask.
I had another one on there too, dude, and I just went, I didn't realize we only had him for a half hour, or otherwise I would have went Michael heavy for the first.
Yeah, I was trying to rotate.
Yeah. That was fun, though. It was good. I mean, classic movies, the Final Destination stuff. More to come. Friday the 13th, Part 6. Is it the top movie? I mean, is it? Is it?
In my opinion, no, but but I'm not saying it's a shit one either. Like, everyone knows my order goes 4, 5, 6. And that order is my favorite ones. But it's more like a 1A, a 1B, a 1C. It's not
4, 6, 2, 5, 1.
Well, if anybody wants to know my full list, be sure to go back on our YouTube channel for Friday the 13th rankings. You'll find it right there.
We're going to have to do those again pretty soon.
I think so.
It's time. But, yeah, man, that went a little shorter tonight. But, hey, that's what it is. You get one guy short. You know what I mean? We worked hard all day. Damn it.
Damn, we did. But also, BK, just to answer your question. Did you catch that? Or was that interception? Hold on. Oh, shit. Turnover, baby. Interception. Lily does not light up. I have actually I have the whole family. I have Herman, Lily, Eddie, and Grandpa. I got them from Retro Go-Go. I can't really remember the price because they were losing the license. And I wanted these for a long time. They went on sale for 50% off.
Yeah.
And I snagged up the fucking collection, dude. So
those things are badass.
Yeah, I think I spent like $100 and it was originally $200.
Stacy, you're in the audience in there in the chat room. I see. Are we allowed to talk about next week? Is that official? Were you part of that even? I don't even know if you're.
See, I don't know.
I thought she was, but I don't know.
I don't know. Sometimes Crank keeps the shit pretty close to the chest. So
yeah. He says he almost bought Lily for $85.
Woo,
right.
Dude,
okay.
I got all 4 for an extra $15.
Gotcha.
I'll sell them to you. I'll sell all 4 to you. I still got the box. It's mint condition, BK. I'll sell all of them to you for $250.
And they come in a box like the old Kmart costumes.
Yes.
Yes. So Stacy's not affiliated with our guests next week, so she don't know shit. So we're gonna leave it alone until we get confirmation. And it is, if it does happen, pretty big. Pretty big. Can't lie. I'm very upset after.
I'm saying it's pretty big, and I got it fucking covered. Don't even worry.
I'm happy you're covered. I know you got it covered, but I'm just after bird dogging this one, chasing it around for a couple of months, a couple of stops, and then finally getting it. I'm pissed that I got to miss it. But Crank not here tonight because he's en route to Pasadena. I will be leaving Thursday to rendezvous with him in L.A. We're going to the Halloween 45 convention, and we're gonna hook up with Joseph Scott while we're out there, and we're gonna own L.A. Owning it. DCS. It's a new name of it. DCS California after we fucking get out of there. God damn it.
That's right. And you folks be glad to know I'll be holding it down in Cincinnati, putting up my Halloween decorations in the yard.
Cool. We can probably check in.
Halloween year round inside the house. So
we'll get some footage. We're going to get some footage, baby. But we're going to see a bunch of places, a bunch of Hollywood spots. We're going to Universal Studios, and we're going to get into as many of those haunted houses as we can. We've got tickets to all of them, but it's only open 6 hours, so 8 hours. I don't know. We'll be able to. I don't know how the lines run there. It's a Friday night. Who the fuck knows? Yeah, there you go.
If it's anything
DCS, Real World, California.
I'm just saying, if it's anything like Kings Island's Halloween Haunt, which I'm sure it's much larger, and better, dude.
Yeah.
Even in Kings Island, you're lucky to get in 3 haunted houses max.
Colonel, I went to the Cedar Point Hollow Weekends. And it's inspired by Universal Studios Hollywood in Florida, Orlando. Dude, they clear out one of the fucking concession stands. There's like 4 of them. Some of the larger ones that have 5 or 6 all the way around, cash registers where you would pay. Mm-hmm. So it's that's what they're building these fucking haunts into. So there's cement rails and shit. I mean, it can only go one way. I think this is going to be a little more what I like. As far as haunted houses go,
I'm sure there's going to be more traditional haunted houses.
Hollywood effects, sound, lights. I'm into that. We got a couple $1 million haunts around here in Michigan, but I mean, I've never been to this, and that's one of the highlights that we're going to see here. But obviously, the Halloween 45 convention with just about everybody that's ever been in a Halloween movie. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
No, they're waving it off. It looked like offensive pass interference, like T. Higgins pushed off.
Now, if I had my Crank's buttons here, I'd play the womp, womp, womp.
You're lucky I held it in. I was about to scream like I'm not on the fucking podcast.
Sorry.
That was offensive pass interference. God damn it.
Don't think Jamie Lee Curtis is coming, even though she has not come out and said like she has in previous years, hey, not going. I just think with the strike, she's not going to show up, which sucks because I really need her signature on that Fog record, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, even without the strike, she won an Oscar. She ain't showing up that shit.
I think it would have came out already.
Now, San Diego Comic-Con, yeah. Something big like that, yeah.
Yeah, this one's built right for it's your guys behind it, man. The Whorehound guys. So
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not saying I don't.
it's you know, it's a pretty big shoe. It's a big shoe, a really big shoe. All right. Anyway,
No, that wasn't
that's
for you.
what's
That was
happening.
for the TV. Sorry.
Yeah, Colonels need to get to his football. We're gonna wrap it up here. Let me go ahead and do what we didn't do at the front of the show here, and thank all of our members, our final girls and guys: Chris Faze, Lorena Faze, Tyrone, and then we have our Crazy Ralphs, Rick and Raymond, and the camp counselors: 42nd Street Pete, Corey, Luke, Dave from Michigan, S. Michael, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Patricia, and JJ. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I only have the lame clap, so you know.
Yeah, I do a good clap.
Next week, live guests. Can't say who, but they're big, so you don't want to miss it. I won't be here. I'll be here in spirit. If the internet's working on the plane, I'll be in the chat room, fucking it up in there.
So if we don't have a live guest, it's just gonna be me. We're gonna fucking wing it. All right, we're gonna have fun either way.
You should have Crank. I think he's still there.
He's still there. I assume he wasn't gonna be here next week. If he is, then
yeah.
Really, I got to deal with fucking Crank.
I think he's planning on just to make sure. Well, obviously because of the potential guest. So. Anyway, Colonel, send them out, baby.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you enjoyed our level of questions. Usually, Crank's the question writer because he's the wordsmith out of the three of us. But no, I had a lot of fun doing it. Got a lot of great behind the scenes stories. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And you know what? It's officially spooky season, people. If you're not a member of our Facebook group already, please go ahead and join. Let us know what you're watching.
Yeah.
Because, you might throw some shit out there I haven't seen yet. And Luke, AMA Colonel. That probably would have been an AMA again. So that's usually what I do when it's just me. But no, just throw some movies out there. And, if you happen to get sick, that probably means you didn't wash your dick. Go ahead and watch some horror movies. And ladies, don't smell like a Scuba Steve. Use Summer's Eve. And you can watch horror movies whether you're smelly or not. Trust me, I do. My ass be stinking. I don't care. I still watch a horror movie.
What the hell, man?
I know. I'm just trying to things up.
It's the Colonel. Wrapping it up. Yeah, guys, it's just keeps getting better and better and better. We're booked fucking solid through October, man. There's all kinds of cool shit coming at you. So stay tuned, and we're going to keep bringing it to you vigorously.
That's right. Oh, I do have a joke, though. Before we go, the one final joke. I can't take credit for it. I did not create it, obviously, but I did hear it this week, and I thought it was hilarious. If you were offended, I apologize in advance. You guys know what it is because I told you guys this when we were playing Texas Chainsaw Zag. I don't know if you were there. What's more embarrassing than waking up? Say you pass out at a party. What's more embarrassing than waking up with a penis drawn on your face? When you realize it was traced. Dude, I thought that was fucking hilarious the first time I heard it. Okay, that's funny. Who me all you want? That shit's funny. I'm just not good at telling jokes like that.
What do you think of that joke, man?
I mean, he's told it to me before, and it's okay.
All right.
It's all right.
Man, don't lie. Don't act cool because you're on the podcast. He was like, Colonel, that's the best joke I've heard in my entire life. Like you said, no milk on your nose. You didn't even want to drink milk. I was like, what the
yeah, was it tequila phase that night?
Oh,
probably was tequila phase if you thought it was that.
Anything you want to say to a Crank before he heads out to Pasadena? All right. See motherfucking phase, folks. And that's going to do it for the Death Curse Society. We will see you next week. I won't, but these two guys will be here. Phase will be here, and we'll take care of you, man. Bring in the horror DCS style all fucking month long. For the Colonel, for C motherfucking Phase, I'm Zigzag. We are Death Curse Society. We are out.
Ooh, day.
waiting. We're waiting.